Welcome to the Creation Evaluation Station, where I give in-depth reviews of models and construction kits, both new and old, mostly LEGO, but other products as well. I also do discussion and review of other creative works, such as movies, cartoons, and video games. On this episode, we are going to be looking at this. It's a Jurassic World set, or at least it's in the Jurassic World line. But if you look closely, it's actually from the very first movie, Jurassic Park. They didn't make a separate line just for Jurassic Park. They kind of lumped it in Jurassic World. There's the back of the box. And this is before they changed their age system. It's listed as ages 6 through 12. Under the current standards as LEGO goes, it would be 6+. It's set number 75932, and it has 360 pieces, and originally retailed for $39.99. It's no longer available. You might find it online, probably will find it online, being sold for a lot more. May find it in a dusty corner in some toy store somewhere, or other store, but they are no longer being produced, so supplies are limited and rare, probably expensive unless you get really lucky. This came out in 2018, which, as you know, this movie did not come out in 2018. But back when the Jurassic Park movies came out, LEGO wasn't doing Jurassic Park sets or Jurassic World sets. Actually, they weren't doing too many licensed stuff by then. At least they might have just been starting into it. Yeah, so this wouldn't have existed. But it is really nice homage to the original movie. It's a nice looking set. Anyways, I haven't put it together yet, of course. We'll find that out soon enough. So, without further ado, let's go put it together. Here we have the contents of the box, and we have two instruction booklets. Neither one is really thick. I don't know why they had to do that, but they did. We also have some stickers, not a lot, but some. We have bag 1, bag 2, and bag 3. The fact that we only have 3 bags is kind of strange. We have so many instruction booklets. But there's more than these. There's also a bagged raptor. A bagnet. That's terrible. We have a bagged raptor, all those pieces, and 3 long Technic beams. That's it. Like I said, not too many bags, although there's a lot of pieces in those bags. But 2 booklets. Before we get to the individual bags, let's look at the more loose stuff. And not much to see, but there are those Technic rods. And the raptor, which is looks very much like it's the old Jurassic Park color scheme. We have the contents of bag 1 here. A lot of big pieces, but there's also a lot of small pieces when we get to it. A bunch of different plates, different sorted and shades of gray tiles, gray plates. We've got some clear pieces here. This one's looks like it's seen that before on the windshield, but this one's different. It looks like from one side it's like a large clear brick, but as you can see, there's no. It's just one single. It's actually a windowy type thing. It's thin. first glance, I thought it was one really huge, you know, 1 by, what, 6 brick. We've got 2 figures here. One of them's Grant, the other one's one of the kids, and I think it's the girl, but I'm not sure. It's hard to tell when they're like this. Got some pistols, and there's a lot of little pieces in here. We got several single studs, blue, green, and red. I have a phone. Oh, speaking of the phone, going down, we also have a printed piece that probably goes along with the phone. It's nice to have printed pieces. And these are those textured 1 by 2 bricks. Those are fun for house making. Oh, we also have this, which is also a print. And quite a bit. There's quite a lot in here, both small and big. Onward to bag 2. We got some more big plates in here, but not quite as many as last time. We have a ton of tiles. If you need tiles, this is the set for you. And we have these partial tiles as well. Got this nice little box, some rails, jail cell windows, whichever you want them to be. Well, we'll find out what they are for this one. We have our other 2 characters in here. We have a whole bunch of food and utensils, pots, pans, umbrellas. I don't know how umbrellas for food, but neither do wrenches. We have these cabinet doors, I guess. You know, they had pieces like this, but they're kind of cool. Well, probably more in city sets than I'm not used to seeing. Got a lot more green studs. Well, they're little widgets and whatnots. We have these 2 printed pieces here. One's a keyboard, the other's a gift of some kind. Not sure what that's about. But a little bit less than the last bag, but still quite a bunch of different pieces here. On to the last bag. More plates, a lot less pieces though. You got some other odds and ends in here. For sure. Another railing piece. White pieces in this one. We got these orange light bulb pieces, which I think they're supposed to represent amber. Just kind of cool. Some little pieces. And that's really it. It's a lot less in this last bag, although there's still a good amount of pieces. I've seen a lot less pieces in a bag. This set's kind of fun because it almost goes back to the older ways where they put a lot more in a bag. We have our cast of characters for this set, and they all look really nice for the most part. Well, they do. They all have exclusive prints, and to match their characters from the wardrobe from the movie. They look really great, to be honest. My only problem, I would say, is nothing to do with the printing or the clothes, but the use of the small feet. I'm not a big fan of small feet, but this guy probably could use it. She probably could have used full-sized legs, if not the medium legs that they've come out with more recently. The character wasn't quite a small child. I mean, she was a young teenager, I would say. I don't remember. It's hard because the ages that happened in the movie were different than what was in the books. So the genders switched. Who was the older, who was younger. She was the older in the movie, though. Yeah, some great prints here. And they can be reused for just regular people. but they are definitely iconic to these characters from the movie. And let's pop off these head pieces, hair pieces, I should say. Let's remove his gun while we're at it, just to get that out of the way. This, I don't think I've seen this hairpiece anywhere else. They've probably reused it somewhere along the lines. Grant also has a hairpiece, second hairpiece. So if you want to give him that instead of the hat, although remember, he wears that hat throughout most of the movie, kind of Indiana Jones style. Oh. Surprise, surprise. It's directed by Steven Spielberg. Alright, now the back sides. Flip them over. We got back faces on everybody except for Grant, but he's got that hat, so that's why. Makes sense. And, you know, painting looks just as good on the back as it does the front. And everybody's scared or not happy. But yeah, these characters are great. There's nothing generic about them. I mean, well, even their faces. I don't know if they've reused any of these faces before. But the prints on the chest pieces are great. Can be used for other things, and they look great on these characters. So such a nostalgia trip. Alright, so we have one more figure to talk about here, and that's the Raptor. Probably my favorite part of this set, sort of. I mean, I love the whole thing, really. But this is the only Raptor I think they've gotten that has the original Jurassic Park color schemes. All the newer Raptors are from the newer movies with the different greens and blues and grays and stuff like that, which I don't know, just nostalgia talking, but I really like the color scheme here. I mean, maybe they could have done something a little bit more with the eyes, but other than that, the paint job's pretty good. Like, they had kind of a yellowish green eyes, and I don't know. I think it's a little muted against the brown. Maybe another coat of paint would have done it. But we got opening, closing jaws, snap shut too. We have a head that rotates. We got arms, front arms that move up and down. And they also can grasp onto a minifigure accessory pole thing. We've got 4 studs on the back for rubbery tail, so it softened the blows from injuries, I guess. And the hind legs pose nicely with the claws and anti-studs on his feet. So there he is. So much nostalgia. Here we have our set. This is a very dense set. We actually have 3 different scenes here, although these 2 are kind of related. We have the computer scene that you see here in front, and then we have the embryo storage area here that was seen, and I believe you could see it through the window here, which is why it's set up this way, and that's why these 2 scenes are sort of connected. None of these characters were in this scene, though. Nedry was in this scene. We don't have a Nedry figure in this set. But what we do have is his shaving cream canisters down here, which I find that funny. But he apparently forgot it, which didn't happen in the movie. He remembered it, he just lost it there. So there's nothing that functions here. This is all appearance here with this, and it's pretty nice. And then you have the outside here too. And then back to the computer room here, because this is where the Raptor tries to get in just before they lock the doors. And we have this nice little locking feature here. And you see the door opens. Oh no, the Raptor's trying to get in. They've made these nice big door latches handles here to represent the ones that were in the movie, since they were like the focus of the screen was the Raptor trying to grab the handle and get in. And his hands can clip onto them, but you can lock the doors up, leave it unlocked, rescue them or not. And we got a lot of tools and other things here, phones, other stuff. And the Raptor can go in this scene, or he can go over here in the third scene, which the third scene is the kitchen. The kitchen scene, where the kids are running from the Raptor amongst all the cookware and stuff, which we get plenty of cookware. We have also the chocolate that was in the movie that the girl was eating. Name escapes me at the moment. We also have the Jello here too as well. So there are a lot of references in here, and this is really fun. Big nostalgia trip. Fortunately, we don't have the big freezer that they trapped the one Raptor in, but you know, we got 3 different scenes here in this rather small area, to be honest. And I really like how they set it up in this kind of zigzag shape. And there's just so much here. It's great. Oh, and I love the designs for these computers, which I didn't put the stickers on, but they're basically a sign piece that gets put on one of these little handle pieces, and I think that looks great for modern day, you know, monitor screen for a computer. It's pretty good. But other than this locking, there isn't much else function that does anything with this. There's a lot of just, you know, scenes and a lot of little things that were in it. But let's go back to our computer, or let's go back to our desk, and my computer is there, but let's get a final eval on this. Forgot one very important part of this set. This ladder. It's a nice folding ladder. You can fold it up. You can open it up. But it's very important to the integral part of the movie, as from this scene, they climb up this ladder and climb into the ceiling and escape the raptors into the main area where the T-Rex attacks, and thus ending the end of the movie. So yes, this ladder is very important. It's a very cute ladder. Back at the desk here to give this a final review, but first, just my quick thoughts. I really like this set, but not for the usual reasons for liking a set. There's a lot of nostalgia here, and it's compact in a very small area, which is cool, but I don't think this set is for everybody. It's you know, if you have kids that are new or are fans of Jurassic World, the newer stuff, they might not be familiar with this. And if you get it for them, they probably still have some fun with it, but they wouldn't. It wouldn't, like, it's not going to get them like it gets me, with how awesome it is. Other than that, well, let's just get to the main review, because main eval, I'll sort of cover some of this as I go about talking about it. So appearance, it looks great. No complaints. I mean, you shouldn't be able to see the part of the kitchen here and stuff like that, but that's part of this whole, you know, having multiple scenes in one set type of thing they got going on here. But it still looks good. There's a lot of things to look at here. The dinosaur looks good. The figures look good. And the scenes individually look great. There's no real complaints. They put a lot of thought into the appearance of things here. So that being said, I gave it a 9. I mean, the only way to really get 10 would probably be just to add more, which they could do, but it would be a bigger set, and so on. But, yeah, a 9. It's a pretty good grade. It's a really nice looking set for what it's supposed to look like. Now, function, there's only one real moving part here, and that's this lock mechanism, although the ladder kind of is nice with the folding ladder type thing, so it's got that function going on. But I mean, is this set doing what it's supposed to do? Yes. It's supposed to be 3 different scenes. You know, this would kind of goes back to the what they did have during the Jurassic, around the time the first Jurassic Park stuff came out, was these movie maker sets. This would be a good movie maker because you'd have 3 different scenes that you could set up. Now, there's no Nedry. I don't, you know, that's a bit lacking. But other than that, you know, this functions well as a set. I'm not talking about a Lego set. I'm talking about a movie set to film certain scenes on. But there's not much else going on, moving parts or anything like that. I mean, I kind of wish this thing could maybe spin. I mean, it does sort of, but it's not loose. See? I ended up popping it off doing that. Well, that's done, huh? There we go. All fixed. So I ended up giving function an 8. Just because there's not too much here in the way of function. But it does do what it's supposed to do. Now, fun? You can play out the scenes. That's pretty much what you can do. This is kind of the problem I have with licensed things. It's making things exactly how they're supposed to look like in a movie, video game, whatever the original media is supposed to be. And therefore, you kind of feel like you have to play in that realm. That there's not something else you can make up. I mean, what other scenarios can you make up with this? Not too much, really. I mean, you could pretend this is the stage for a talk show, I guess. I don't know. The scene is done so specifically to what it's supposed to be. There's not much more that can be done with it. So, I don't know. I mean, it's fun to play out the scenes that are here, that they're trying to portray here, for sure. And that's fine, but there's nothing more on top of that. Which is why I gave this an 8. It's a lower grade than I usually do for fun, tend to. But yeah, it's a little bit lacking in that department. Now, techniques, there's a lot of little techniques, like the creation of this ladder, the laptop. There's a lot of little things that are neat for small common objects, you could say, minifigure sized common objects, computers, ladders, phones. I wouldn't quite call this a common object. Not most people have DNA freezers in their household, but there's some techniques there. The way this is a built door rather than just using a regular Lego door, so there's some nice technique there, and the locking mechanism's pretty neat, and it doesn't have anything too really technologically amazing to it, but there's a little bit of technique going on here. We got some pretty clever usage of parts and stuff here, and I give it a 9. So overall, we take all those numbers and add them up and divide by 4. The set's going to get an 8.5. It's a okay set. Now, as price goes, this is going to be a little bit hard to find on the market, and you probably have to go to the secondhand market and probably pay more for it. But the original price was $39.99, and 360 pieces, that comes to 11 cents per piece. That's not bad. Standard's 10 cents, that's only a penny over, and considering there's some, fun stuff here, this is a okay set, decent set. Nothing super amazing, but nothing bad either. You get this dinosaur, some really nice nostalgic figures. So it's getting a G for good. It's only slightly elevated. You could consider, that's the thing, it's only a little bit elevated. Now, why is it a little bit elevated? Is it because of licensing issues, or is it because of the fact there's a dinosaur in here? Because either one could drive up the price, but it's only a penny more, so it doesn't really seem like it's that much of a higher price. So, yes, a G. It's getting a G for good. Bringing the whole grade, the final eval grade, to an 8.5 G. It's an all-around decent set at a good price. A fairly good price. Finding it at that price right now is a little bit harder. Yeah, I don't know when the last time I think I saw it in stores anywhere, and I believe it's retired off the Lego website, if I remember right. I don't know, I probably said at the beginning of this video, so go back there and check. There's a delay between recordings. Don't always get these done in one day. So yeah, my overall thoughts, like I said, this is a very good nostalgia trip, and it's kind of fun to build all the little parts and seeing all the little neat little things. The raptor is really nice. I like the fact I can add this classic raptor to my collection. Not that I have a big collection of raptors, but I have a couple. And it's the classic color scheme for the raptor, and all these great figures and everything else. They can be played with some of the other Jurassic Park sets. As you know, these characters are returning in the new Jurassic World Dominion movie, so that's kind of cool. These are their much younger selves. Are looking forward to that movie. So miles may vary for the set. If you grew up or enjoyed that first movie, have seen it, or your kids have, then this set might be okay. But a lot of present day, children, kids haven't necessarily seen that older one. Not to mention that older the older movie, especially the first one, had a higher age rating. It was a bit more violent than the newer ones. So something to consider. So they more likely haven't seen it and wouldn't be familiar with any of these scenes, which, without the references for the scenes in the movie, kind of makes this set kind of worse, really, because the magic of the set is in the nostalgia, and if there's not, that nostalgia's not there, then, you know, it's just a plastic dinosaur attacking a bunch of people, which can be fun in its own right, but they don't get the details in this set, and that's where a lot of the fun lies. That's why I said I like this set, but not for the regular reasons. A lot of the details that look that take you back to that movie are here, but if you're not familiar with the movie, it won't do you any be that great. So those are my final thoughts on here. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and also, even if you didn't like it, comment down below about why. And just what are your guys' thoughts about this set? Would you be interested in it if it was out now, or what do you guys think? Anyways, this has been Edwin here at the Creation Evaluation Station, signing off, reminding you, creativity is key.